And like if you mess up, don't be afraid. Like we can go back
Yeah.
and edit it and stuff. I mean,
I trust you.
I'm sure you've been interviewed plenty of times.
Just a couple times.
Just a couple. Okay, so basically, like I want to talk about the improvements. I think first,
Okay.
or like, actually, why don't we talk about like how Eau Claire Express came? So like, why did Eau Claire Express come to Carson Park? Like, what are the benefits of them playing? Like, I know they already had the Cavalier amateur team, so
Sure.
like, how does that compete with them, and like, how did that bring crowds and stuff like that? So you can kind of just ramble if you want to.
Well, Northwoods League, I believe, is going on pretty close to our 30th year of existence. We started in 2005, got awarded a team in 2004 with Dr. Jeff Jones and Bill Roulette. Basically, they encourage to have better quality college baseball players play in one level across the country. So in 2004, they were awarded a team for the summer of 2005. And they're looking for a coach, they're looking for everything that's going on. And at the time, I was the Legion coach here for Marshfield, my hometown. And I was playing the state World Series, I guess, for the Legion program, coaching Marshfield team. And they asked me who I knew pretty well from playing for the Cavaliers back in the day, a long time ago, and asked me if I'd be interested, and kind of went off from there. But we have crowds because that's kind of the Northwoods League thing. We make sure it's for family entertainment. It's for everything but the game of baseball. Baseball's not the most exciting sport ever, so you have to create other things of on-field promotions and really just get after sponsorships and try to figure out what generates people's interest of coming to a game. I'm sure with the Eau Claire North versus the Memorial, games are always big hype because it's that inner city rivalry, and from what that is, times two is pretty much every one of our games. So we're just trying to create more opportunities for the city of Eau Claire, and the city of Eau Claire is tough because there's so many things going on in the summertime. Hopefully we're one of the leaders, but with Country Jam, Rock Fest, everything that's surrounding us, with Cadot, with the Rock Fest and everything is tough competition, but I think we've been kind of holding our own over 12 years.
Mm-hmm. And then just like talking about the players and stuff, who would you say are some of the more memorable players that have come through the Eau Claire Express program or the Cavalier program, and some of those big names would you say that are in the MLB now or have been?
Well, I think you have to go all the way back to like 1952 when you had the Eau Claire Bears here in the Northern League back in the day. So in 1952 they had a minor league team called the Eau Claire Bears that was affiliated with the Milwaukee Braves, and Hank Aaron played here. So that's the biggest name that you have in Eau Claire, and that's why the statue's in front of the stadium. He played here, did not have a greatest time because of being African American. Had to live at the Y, had to walk to everywhere he had to go, couldn't get into anywhere that he wanted to. So he had a really hard time playing in Eau Claire, but that's the most famous player that we've ever had. Along with that same era, Bob Uecker, the announcer for the Milwaukee Brewers, Joe Torre, works for MLB right now and was a Yankees coach, and is probably the three most known names that we have. When it comes to Cavaliers, there's not a whole lot. You have my brother Gary, who played for the Cavaliers, had played in the Major League for 7 years. You have Stan Royer, who's a catcher. You have a very limited few that have done really well in the Major Leagues. Express, we've had two really good ones so far. We've had Jordan Zimmerman, that played in 2006, and we have Cole Calhoun, who played in 2007, 8, and 9, that are pretty notified key Major League players. So, and we had one just reach this last year too, Eddie Gamboa, pitcher for Tampa Bay. So it kind of is a revolving door of who gets up there, but who really makes a name for themselves. And but Carson Park is always known for really good baseball through high school and through even Babe Ruth in town. I mean, everything is just really baseball geared.
And then over the years, obviously the field hasn't always looked as good as it has now. So what would you say have been the major improvements of the field over the past couple of years, or that you know of?
Yeah, we had, and you might want to take some pictures of what the field really did look like,
okay.
Emma. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see what the history is, and I have a book for you too.
Okay, sweet.
That would help you a little bit. When we had a renovation when I was playing with the Cavaliers, I think it was late 90s. It was a renovation of trying to redo the dugouts and trying to do the facade a little bit better and making new concessions and that kind of thing. And that was early 90s. Since we've been in town, we've had a press box expansion. We've had the fan deck all in the right field corner. We've had new scoreboards. We've had multiple things, all new concession stuff, of deep fryers to tables to everything that we have done with the city's help to just make it better for every person that comes in. Our big thing is trying to do community service along with everybody else. So everything that we try to provide is back to the community.
And speaking of community service then, for an event like a baseball game to happen, how many people would you say are working for the Eau Claire Express and participating in that event?
We have, in our games, we have about 50 employees. That's from everybody starting their first job to trying to get trained for their first job. So it's kind of a thing that we want to try to but try to incorporate through the city of Eau Claire and all the schools to get their first kid's job. We want to be that leader of trying to get those kids' first jobs, of understanding how to make money, how to save money, how to make money for school, just like you're going to go through. And it's 50 employees, all from Eau Claire. Some are college students, but most of them are high school students that are doing concessions, ticket taking, you name it. They're all around the ballpark with their shirts with the Express staff on.
Gotcha. And then you were mentioning the high school teams and the rivalries and stuff earlier. Since there is only one field that we can basically play on, how do you guys organize scheduling, and how does that all work with North, Memorial, Regis, all those other schools, and then the Express and the Cavaliers? How do you guys manage that, and how do you guys set up who plays when at what days?
I would love to take credit for that, but that's all City of Eau Claire.
Gotcha.
They take care of all the field renovations. They take care of all the approvals. They take care of all the renting. So Don Conti over at City Park and Rec, they do it all. So all we do is submit our schedule, and everybody kind of works around the high schools and everybody else. So it's all Dawn, nothing to do with us.
Gotcha. So if you don't do the scheduling, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do?
What we do is we make sure we provide entertainment course of everything. I actually recruit the team, so I have to be in charge of 40 college players coming into Eau Claire, Wisconsin some of them are for the first time. So I find host families for them, but our big thing off season is finding sponsorships and trying to keep the Express viable of playing each season, from concession food to you name it. I mean, it's a lot of work that people don't understand. Under the scenes and under the table, it's a lot of work of trying to renew all the billboards. So the fees are down. I mean, if we didn't have the billboards right now, we'd probably pay $1,000 a game, even the high schools. And so that takes away a lot of opportunity for everybody to play up there still at a reasonable price.
Mm-hmm. And then just kind of narrowing down a little bit more on the team, the Express, Eau Claire Express, a little bit more. What is your guys' schedule throughout the year? What kind of competition do you guys play? How do you pick your teams out? What guys are doing what jobs and stuff? How do you manage the team?
Well, the team is comprised of 30 full-time players, all college eligibility players. So if you're a senior in college and just got done with your senior year, you're not eligible to play. So you have to go back to school to play after you participate here. So you have 30 full-time players and 10 temporary players that are here from 10 days to 20 to 30 days. So it's kind of a juggling act of trying to figure out where they're staying, who they're staying with, how they're getting here. That's the toughest part that I have of most kids that are coming from the West Coast or even South. They don't have cars. So now we got a carpool. We got to figure out what host families can allow them to have cars, and it's really a lot of work. To get players, I've done this for 13 years now, and it's just, you get the same schools that really treat you well that you have to go after every year and kind of put your pieces and puzzles together and try to figure out what's the best product you can put on the field. And last year we were very successful. Previous years we were not. I mean, it comes with good attitude, work ethic, and getting here for the right reasons.
Gotcha. And then obviously the field, baseball is not the only thing the field's used for. What other events is the field used for throughout the year, not just baseball?
Well, we have the Shrine Circus, middle of June every year. What a great event for kids. I think they have 4 different shows on a Wednesday, or is it a Tuesday and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday. So that's always a big thing. It's a lot of cleanup, it's a lot of hassle for the city, but we all know it's for the kids too. We had a concert this last year in the fall. That was Carson Goes Country, so for the first time. So there's other events that can be taking place at Carson. It's just that it's a lot of maintenance fee of trying to figure out if there's going to be busted up or not, if we have to replace the sod or if we have to do things. So it's a lot of work, but Carson Park is a great place to do anything.
Also 4th of July, I know that's like a landmark for fireworks too. Like, oh, are you going to Carson for
Right.
fireworks? So
Yeah, 4th of July is always awesome. It's one of our biggest crowds, of course. It's something that if you haven't seen the fireworks at Carson Park, something's wrong. I mean, I can't even think about. I know my wife won't let me leave, but when we get done with the ball game, I have to go up and watch fireworks for 12 straight years. It's tough sometimes, especially when you get your butt kicked.
oh yeah.
But they do a great job. The city of Eau Claire does a great job with fireworks.
And then you were kind of talking about like the field and like the maintenance, upkeep and stuff like that. So it always looks really good when I go to games. So like cutting the grass, the dirt, the sand that you guys use, how do you keep the field looking as good as it does?
Again, I wish I could take credit. It's all City of Eau Claire.
Gotcha.
They do a wonderful job. They have great people. They have great staff people that are trained really well. They have Justin Comferman and Jared there for the longest time, and they do a phenomenal job of knowing what they're doing, and they've been doing it for a long time. So we're pretty fortunate. I know going to other parks, the team has to take care of their park, and their park doesn't look even close to ours. So only comparable park that we have that looks like ours that's got natural grass yet is probably St. Cloud, who does a very good job, but they don't even allow them to hit batting practice on the field, and we do. So there's some pluses and negatives, but right now Carson Park is really a nice park to be at.
And then talking with the community as well, I just remember my brother being in Little League and all the Little League players going out to the field. Do you guys have any other events where you like what kind of events do you have for like those in between innings and stuff like that? Like what are some of the fun events that you guys do between there?
Oh, we do all kinds of things. We have, the tracks race where our mascot races a kid from second base to home plate. Tracks always loses. Tracks needs to lose every time. So it's comical. We used to have these big balloons that people would fight in. We'd have sumo costumes that they're fighting in and trying to grab a gas tank last year. To you name it. I mean, we do all kinds of things. Tires race. I mean, over the 12 years, we've done some amazing things that just try to give more entertainment for everybody to understand that this isn't just baseball.
Gotcha. And then my final question is, what are some memories that you have of the team? What are some things that like you personally love about the team? Just kind of like your own. Basically, this is your own question. You kind of just get to talk
Right.
about whatever you want.
Emma, Carson Park is amazing to be at. I mean, there's so many times I just sit there and just watch and understand that, so many people and players and past players have gone through this system and through that field that are just amazing. For my personal goal, I mean, we won the CABA World Series when I was a player, in the 90s, and that was exciting for Harv Tomter, who was a longtime Cavalier coach that never won anything, so that was a thrill of mine as a player there. But I've played there probably since 1985 as a Legion player, and then coaching now is it's just nice to go to Carson Park. There's nothing negative about going there. I mean, it's old, there's no question, but the history behind it is remarkable. From the college teams that used to play there at UW Eau Claire to just the Bears back in the day. It's just there's a lot of things to go through Carson Park of figuring out what it all is, but it's just the history. If the walls could talk, it would be amazing. But it's just fun to be at Carson Park.
All right. Well, I think that's all I have for you.
Awesome.
So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I have a book with both these pictures, I think.
Okay.